Greetings to each and every one of you guys. Once again, welcome to the Voices of South Sudanese Women, and thank you for joining us on our 10th episode of TVO SSW. So tonight I have a couple of special guests in the studio. I would like them to tell you guys a little bit about themselves, their background and what they do in terms of employment or studies, and in regards to the topic of discussion that we'll be talking about tonight. There's a lot of things that we'll be talking about. So I will pass it on to the guest. And the first one up is C4.
What's up, guys? How's everything going? My name is C4, also known as Ujulu1.
Yeah.
I'm a hip-hop artist, an actor, and an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Got a few companies here and there, and yeah, you're ordinary person, I guess. And it's good to be here, by the way. Yeah, it's good to feel a part of something that is becoming a change. You know, it's a trend, which is a good trend.
Yeah.
Because there's all kinds of trends, so we could be going backwards, but it feels like it's right to be here. You know.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we'll pass it to Jeffa.
Thank you so much. Yes, my name is Jaffa. My background comes from community service, counselings, and social work. I'm a social worker myself, and I'm currently working with community support groups. With CMY, I support young people and their families. So basically, I'm now working in Cardinia Shire. I'm a project officer for community support groups.
Oh, nice.
And thank you for having me tonight.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And Nyawech.
Hi, my name is Nyawech, and I'm an ex-youth advocate. We'll get into it more, but yeah, I'm just passionate about my community, and I want to be able to help youth. So that's why I'm here today, and I hope we can get into some great discussions.
Absolutely.
I've looked at Jeff's work history, and I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure he has a lot of answers for all of us. So yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm blessed to have you guys in the studio tonight. So we should get right into it, because there's a lot for us to actually go through within this episode. So from my understanding, I feel like as a community, we need a clear vision in terms of where we are heading, and if we are actually planting any seeds for the next generation. So in regards to that, within our community, can we agree that we do need a clear vision?
I guess so. Yeah, I would agree that.
Yeah.
Because it seems as if like people don't really have anything to say about our community but negative things usually.
Of course.
And that's people that are looking from the outside in. Those are not people that are inside the community.
Yeah.
They're not. So from us, I think there is a need for a vision and a need for clearance, and like a deletion of things that have come and things that have gone, things that we've been labeled. So we have a chance to shift the narrative,
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's tough, but I guess, there's people that are professionally qualified to lead us, and in that sense, not to say that we all need a leader, but everybody has to lead themselves first of all.
Of
but
course.
of course, then there's that collective movement where, we have
it.
to follow one certain direction.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, C4. Well, leadership is, people can define leadership in different ways, but to me, I've defined leadership as, as you yourself, you get interested in people, and then adding values to people, having passion to work with people, and sometimes leadership involves denying yourself, because if you think you have to get the credit all the time in a leadership, so you are a kind of person that is pop up and will not do anything with your community.
Yeah.
So yes, as you said, we need a clear vision, but we need to define first what a clear vision is.
Yeah.
A clear vision could not come, just from nowhere. As Julius Nyerere said, that is, development come from it is people. Like hen come from, chicken come from an egg.
Yeah.
So there's no development without it is people. So South Sudanese, I believe, we need to start cultivating a way where we can work together, where we can value ourselves, where we can add value to ourselves, where we can, support those who are having an interest to work within a community.
That's it.
But sometimes people will shy away when they see things are not going right, and when they are not supported, they feel like no appreciation there, and then they will step back, and even if they are happy to give a go of everything they have, So I think clear vision would come when we start working together.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I would definitely agree with Jeffa about the leadership thing. I also think leadership starts at home.
It does.
Focusing particularly on issues such as domestic violence, mental health, drug and alcohol abuse. All of those factors are important in helping our future generation,
Definitely.
particularly helping them kind of how to cope with what I think is the most important thing at the moment is grief. Losing somebody is not easy, and it messes people up mentally. And if you're not able to look after yourself, you can't really do anything for your community. So us as a community in general, we do have a lot of grieving problems, and we need to heal. And in order to do that, we need to work with one another, and leadership starts at work, family, friends, siblings. Everybody needs to work together to really help the next generation.
Like that's amazing. I really love the answers.
Yeah, like you said, which leadership is started in a family. Yes, that is true. And everyone is a leader. Leader is not. People are not born to be leaders.
Yeah.
So leaders start whenever you grow. When you grow, when you are born. So you start to be a leader. You can lead yourself to grab something. You can lead yourself to grab a food, or you can lead yourself even crying, saying I need food. That is leadership.
Yeah.
So everyone is a leader.
Everyone is a leader.
But it is you just need to find a way to get people to get interested in people.
100%.
Especially in our community, because it's sometimes it feels like it's a taboo for people to ask for help. So it's like something shunned upon. People feel ashamed, all that kind of stuff. Even if somebody's disabled, they hate to be, But if you accept what the condition is, then you can make a change. You know what I mean? Regardless, it doesn't make you what the word says.
Yes,
if the word calls you your helper or somebody who needs to help, or a beggar is just somebody who wants something. You know what I mean? But people take it as an insult. People take most words that are to help them in an insulting way. So that way it hinders them from getting help. You know what I mean? So if we can change that in our community, especially, to be able to ask for help and feel good about it, not feel
instead of shying away from it.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty amazing. In regards to that, just to add on top of it, obviously, to be able to plant seeds for the next generation, we would first need to unite as one collectively. When it comes to leadership, as Jeff has mentioned and Yowaj, and also UC4, it's not just for one person. Anybody can become a leader, but it does become difficult when you can see yourself actually leading people, because it's not easy. It's not for everybody, and that's for sure. Like Jeff mentioned before, if you feel that people aren't supporting you, even with this episode, if I didn't have your support, they always say "Ted kel charada fat."
Yeah,
That's true.
So in terms of actually having a clear vision within our community, yes, we do need to come together. We need to stop looking down on each other, on one another, because there's a lot of that in our community, where dol koro dan for no reason, and it's completely not okay.
And is that because dalgakon and etukong so dolkorokon, as in other people disrespect us, so we disrespect ourselves? Would you say that stems from that?
Ooh, that's a pretty good one. You got me thinking.
Jeffrey, you want to take this one?
I like this one.
Yeah. Thank you, C4.
No problem.
I think this just comes from a perspective of people living in a traumatized society.
Yeah.
We've been away from our families and our society for a very long time. So people live in refugee camp for about 20 to 30 years. In refugees camp, no one respect anyone. So everyone is, they said, we are equals. So we are refugees.
Yeah.
So that come from that life. So there hasn't been any good role models. In the past, I know in the past where those of our grandfathers when they were in Sudan, they're leading, like those of Day Weng and Aloa Deng, all of that. So they were respected, and you can see even the difference, in life, and even like education level and and culture level, even the cheap in our society, like clan leaders. So they have been respected. But all of these come because we were in a war and we went to others' country.
Yeah.
So we develop a way of saying, I don't care. I'm the same like you. We live in a refugee camp together. And who are you? So that's where this perception come. But in reality, we need to change that.
Yeah.
We need to change those perceptions and the way we live before, because if we don't change those perceptions, if we don't change the way we relate to people, and then we will lose our ways and we wouldn't be able to do anything. Look, now we have a lot of professionals in, let's say, in Australia, in USA, in Europe, even back home. So we need to add values to ourselves. We need to say, okay, C4 is a musician, so he's qualified in that, and he can help young people to develop perspective in music. He can also, whatever he talk in the music, can change, can heal people, and like that. People need to start respecting you. The same way I work with CMY now, and I work within a community. I'm a community leader for Wulang Community Association of Australia. So people need to say, oh, this is Jeff. I need to respect him with that work. It is not because I'm better than anyone. No. That is my work. Respect me. Even if I'm drinking water, respect that. Jeff is drinking water. So we will start developing our community. Otherwise,
That's it. And respect, we're conditioned to have respect for each other as human beings. It has nothing to do with someone having anything better than you, because at the end of the day, we all have our own gifts.
Exactly.
And then when we come together and put those gifts and talents together,
that's where we change something.
That's where we begin the real change.
That's where.
I actually have an answer to your question. Well, it's not so much of an answer. It's more of like a perspective from what I've seen and observation. So while I was advocating for South Sudanese youth, during the whole media propaganda stuff that was going on.
The Apex stuff.
I made it a mission of mine to just kind of go and see what kind of organizations are out there and what community services are out there.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I stumbled upon was, like, I noticed that there's a lot of community organizations or services that are available, but then they don't have a lot of people. And the reason being is because even though we have a tribal issue in South Sudan, we also have tribal issues within our community. Like people from the Nuer community will be beefing with other Nuer tribes,
Yeah.
people in Denken tribes will be beefing with other, Denken tribes.
Yeah.
And that's just what makes the message that community leaders are trying to put out. It kind of makes it difficult for them to reach people, because sometimes you'll attend an event based on who's going.
Yeah.
Imagine we're treating like community
That's the
service
problem.
organizations like it's a party.
Well,
That is the problem. People are choosing who they want to lead.
Yeah.
Yep. And to listen to as well.
And it's pretty sad because
like you say,
it's a choice.
yeah, if they choose a leader and tomorrow a leader want to change the ways, he want to work in a community, like for instance say, look, we make today a C4 our leader because we know C4 is my relative, or maybe is my best friend, or is a best friend to Nyeyen, so I have to support Nyeyen to bring.
So you always have your own interest at heart.
Yeah, you have your own interest.
Yeah.
When C4 come in the leadership, and then he will not look at those way of him coming to leadership.
Yeah.
So he will start valuing everyone, and it will start bringing everyone together.
Yeah.
And then what you will do, will say, oh, C4, you're starting to bring these people, so I did not elect you to do and then those egos will come in. And then C4, what he is trying to achieve, whatever he's trying to do, will just struck there and will be like, oh, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So people become a stumbling block to him. So he can't do anything.
Yeah.
So now he's going back to what? To affect the community.
Yeah.
So the community will not go anywhere because this leader has been refused by those he brought into those who will bring him to the leadership. So a thing like that is also one kind of a problem.
Like you mentioned something really important, which is ego and also pride. Within our community, yes, if we're getting up to good things, if we're moving forward as a community, all right, maybe there could be a 5% of prideness. But ego has just spread all over the community, where people think they're better than each other once again. And I feel like that's the only reason why our community hasn't been able to actually move forward in the last couple of years. Like when we all started coming to Australia, how amazing was leadership back then? Like talking about 18, 17 years ago. Leadership was amazing. There was even a lot of things that were put in place. But once again, ego and pride got involved and ruined that path. Because we do have great leaders within our community. I'm not going to lie. We have some great people. Jeffa, for example, he's someone that I actually look up to a lot, because a lot of us have a gift of looking at someone and reading them and actually knowing their energy and what type of person they are. If only our community could take the time to open their eyes and awaken to the truth and see people for what they are, not what their relatives or their friends see that individual for, we would be able to do a lot of good things.
That's true. And, we're subjective according to how we take what other people say about us. Like before you mentioned this beef between like Nuer within themselves.
Sub-tribes within
all that kind of stuff. So, for example, when something negative happens in the Sudanese community as a whole, every other community be like, oh, yep, that's a Sudanese thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they see us all as one
Yep.
and the same. They don't see difference between us. You know what I mean? So instead of us taking that notion of, oh, they actually see us as one, we go and, beef amongst each
especially
other.
on the news. On the news, it's just all one. There's no Nuer, there's no Denka, Shilluk.
Exactly.
It's just Africans or Sudanese. One of them.
It's as if there's levels to the problems that we have. There's a problem as a tribe, problem as a clan, problem as a group, as a whole group. So it's crazy.
Wow, it's a pyramid, eh?
It is. That's what it is.
Pretty much. We'll move on. I think we've answered pretty much a few things within the next question. So division within the community. I really want to talk about division within the community. And we did touch a bit of basis on that as well. So I strongly feel that within the last couple of years, our community hasn't entirely been agreeing with some things. I feel like we never agree on one thing. as a community, do we agree that we barely agree on anything at all? So there's a lot of division when it comes to, anything that we want to start. For example, if someone wants to become a musician, an artist, they might not get enough support, from the whole entire community. So as a community, pretty much. And it has divided us. So I'd like to hear some perspectives and thoughts on that division within the community.
Division, I would say, as long as, because there's two kinds of divisions. You could be divided in a negative way or in a positive way.
Yeah.
So, because a positive division, for example, it's something constructive, like, what do you call it? Healthy competition, If me and you don't agree, I'll be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go build somewhere around the city, and you will be like, nah, I'm gonna go build on the other side.
Yeah.
By the time we both finish building, we have a city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's constructive.
Yeah.
Where but we have that division of the negative one. I think stems from jealousy. And that is something rooted deep within the community, not just here, even
jealousy,
back home and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, like I'll be like, oh, Lizzie, you know what I mean? Just little things like that. Exactly. Just little things like that become big. You know what I mean? They get embedded in people's minds. It gives people a big hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I also think age differences is what divides us. To anybody who's watching this, if you're 24 years old, you're no longer a youth.
You're dividing people, huh?
You are not a youth.
If you're 24,
please let it go.
If you're 24 years and old.
Yeah.
Honestly,
it's so important that, because before we were talking about generation, yeah? Because age is important.
It's
important that people know their age. You know exactly, this is the age group that we're dealing with now. So with these kids, a lot of the reason why I think they're misguided is because they're not treated as kids.
That's the thing.
We also see ourselves as kids. Somebody who's in their 40s will say, I'm a youth. You see it. You see it when you go to church. Youth, they'll be
Yeah.
But it's just important that, when kids, we know which exact age group that we're dealing with. Okay, so for instance, what a toddler should know at their age, and then what a teenager should know at their age, what a primary school, high school kids should know at their age.
Categories.
An adult, So I think a lot of that kind of disrupts the work that we want to do in our community, because if everybody is not assigned their role based on their age, then we're all going to be heading in the same path. We're all going
direction.
And it's like we're walking a road and everybody's just pushing themselves in, we're not standing in a line and trying to go one by one.
Yeah. It's like a traffic light. You know how it goes green and you go?
Yeah.
And then it's yellow and you just wait?
Yeah.
Stop.
And then red, it's quiet.
I think to answer your questions,
division.
The divisions,
within.
I think C4 put it right.
Jealousy.
So the first thing is jealousy.
Yeah.
The other thing is we don't learn.
We repeat
things.
The cycle,
So the thing is, for instance, let's say some of us came to Australia 20 years ago, and they still haven't changed the way they to respect time. Actually.
Oh wow!
Time.
Yeah.
We know that when it is 1 o'clock, when someone said come in at 1 o'clock, you got to come at 1 o'clock exactly.
Yeah.
But
we still have Sudanese time.
Still, we have South Sudanese time. So still, that shows that we are not respecting anything.
Yeah.
So we don't learn as well. Let's say even we live in Australia. If I ask you to cook a Aussie food, still you will struggle to cook a Aussie food while you've been here for 10 to 15 years.
That's so true.
So we are not learning. That's one thing. The other thing is jealousy. Let me talk about jealous.
Yeah.
Jealous has two ways. There's a good jealous and a bad jealous.
Yeah.
The good jealous is if C4 is performing well in his music. So what I will do is I will say, okay, I want to be a musician, but I need to learn how C4 make it right
Yeah.
to be a musician.
Yeah.
So what I will start doing is coming to C4, attending his sessions,
Yeah.
and attending, his recording and all of that. So I will start learning from C4,
Yeah.
so that I know C4 is done it this way,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why C4 is making it perfect. And then that is a good jealous.
Yeah.
The other thing is a bad jealous. Bad jealous is C4 doing something good, and then I'll be like, C4 is better than me. So and then he start planning thing that will hurt C4,
Yeah.
thing that will bring him down,
Yeah.
thing that he's not going to grow.
And sabotage.
That is a
him.
bad jealous.
Yeah.
So
Which
If-
has made you forget about what you had to do in the first
In the
place.
first
So now
place.
you're focusing on
you focusing
Yeah.
on
the person.
C4 now,
Yeah.
and then you forget what you're gonna be doing.
That's your whole energy.
and even you are not
focusing.
going to grow. That is a bad jealous.
Yeah.
So if we start saying, if we start
Microphone.
having a good jealous,
Yeah.
and then we will start, building ourselves, and then we will start working together.
Yeah.
There's other thing also called dependency syndrome. Some of us has a dependency syndrome,
Yeah.
where you know one thing, and then you're stuck on one thing, and you don't want to change anything.
Comfort
So,
zone.
yes,
yeah,
you stay
you're
in your
used to
comfort
that
zones.
one thing. Yeah.
You stay in your comfort zone. You don't want to get out, so that you learn other things.
That's true.
So these are things that created division in us. And the other thing is like saying, just by the word of, hearsay, you just say, I heard that Jaffa is not good. And yeah, this is true. And I hate Jaffa now. I don't want to listen to anything
Without
Jaffa
confirming.
does.
Without even knowing.
Without even learning from Jaffa himself.
Yeah. That's the
and then
problem.
you start building that negative energy toward Jaffa.
Yeah.
And then you start saying, no, I don't want to work with Jaffa.
Yeah.
And then you start doing something else. And then what you're doing, you will also fail. Jaffa will start failing.
As
So
well.
both of you
that
going
hate-
nowhere.
That hate, they can be grown. So if you hate Jaffa, you're
Yeah.
gonna hate everything that is associated with Jaffa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If somebody else talks to Jaffa, that person also. You,
Even going with
See,
you.
that's the problem.
Even me starting working with you,
Yeah.
those who love you will go away because
Yeah.
they love you. They don't like Jaffa. That's it.
It becomes a bigger division, just not about two people anymore.
Yeah.
Not about two people anymore.
Favorite.
It's contagious.
Mm.
It spreads out like a virus.
Exactly.
Honestly,
Exactly.
it is so bad. Like, yeah, my mind just stopped for a minute. I actually went deep telepathically. So we'll move ahead. What I also want to talk about is mental health. We've been talking about mental health a lot, and especially on Are You OK Day, because within our community, I've mentioned it before, it's really important for us to start acknowledging that, yes, there's a lot of people, not just young people, that are going through a lot of issues that we have no idea about. So I feel like as a community, it's time to really to stop talking and start putting in the work if we want to save the next generation. So mental health, what can we do as a community to show people that it's okay to open up, whether you're a man or a woman, because men are humans too. You guys have emotions. And I feel like with men, you guys struggle the most when it comes to mental health, because you guys feel like you really need to have it together, not realizing that, yeah, we're all the same.
That's true.
So maybe you guys can talk to the young boys within our community. We've lost a lot.
We have.
We're losing kings. We're losing future.
Which is unnecessary,
Yeah. We need to start preventing.
They are the best generation. Every generation that is alive at the moment or at the time of particular speaking, that is the best generation. So 10 years from now, the generation that will be alive at that time will be the best generation of that time.
Yeah.
So especially for us as migrants or refugees or whatever they want to call it, coming from where we come from, I would say there's some of our parents or our elders who nearly died or nearly lost their lives for us to get here. You know what I mean? So we should value life from a different perspective than other people who were born into whatever they have, born with a silver spoon in their mouth. So how our parents got here was was a really tough journey or hard journey. You know what I mean? And that should also be because we're going through generational trauma as well. You know what I mean?
are. Yeah.
From our parents coming here, it's in the blood. Sometimes it's not even the kids. So it's something within the blood, and also culture shock coming here. You know, we're not from this culture. We have to adapt and assimilate and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we're dealing with more than the average youth out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the only way to deal with it is to talk about it.
Yeah.
And to be open about it
Within our homes.
Yeah, without making it taboo about us talking about it, without making people who talk about it feel less or weak. You know what I mean? So people should be, I think, commended for, and it should be called bravery for people, those who speak out and those who speak for other people, because not everybody is brave enough or really feels that they have a problem until later it's too late. Yeah. So
bravery.
Yeah.
And Jeffa.
Yeah. Well, before I speak to you about these subjects, I think I will just acknowledge the pain that is in us. Our community is now in grieving in different ways. We have different way of trying to get out of grieving. Yeah. Well, a few weeks ago something happens, and we heard that someone hurt someone in our community. Yeah. So that is very sad, and everyone is not happy. And then we asking a lot of questions. Why these things are happening? Yeah. What should we do about it? Particularly ourselves as leaders, we face a lot of challenge. Of course. Because we are between parents and young people. Yeah. And sometimes you feel like, you're not going anywhere. Yeah. You're trying to associate with young people, things are not going right. You try to also work with the parents. There's still a lot of millstones, to roll over. Yeah. So it's very hard. I think it would be good if we talk about this again in another session. Of course. Yeah, because there's few people that we need to bring in, and
of course, definitely.
Yeah, from a perspective of mental health, who are professional, they can come and talk about it. Yeah, so we'll invite to me, them. I'll just talk a little bit about mental health in our young people. Yeah. So there is a lot of causes that a lot of factors that cause it. Yeah. Mental health. Yeah. You mentioned one thing before, C4, the intergenerational trauma. That is one thing. The other things also drug and alcohol contribute to that. And then also family dynamic. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of things that are happening in the community. Yeah. In the family. Sometimes, poor peer support also is another thing that contribute. Then also lack of opportunity. Yeah. Also is another key factor. Also looking at racism contribute a lot too. Yeah. Because all of these young people that died, passed away by suicide were very young. They are not over 40s. Traditionally in our culture, things that mostly happen to older people like 40s and above. Yeah. Sometimes when things get harder and tougher for them, then they will choose death by suicide. Yeah. But with young people, it's very hard. It doesn't happen. So I would say a lot of people that are struggling with life are not adult. They're actually young people. Yeah. Majority of them are young people that are struggling because they are in between two things: their culture and Western culture.
Yep.
So they will find themselves they are not belong to Western culture, and sometimes they don't belong to
Their culture.
South Sudanese culture, or let's say the African culture. So that they stayed in between, you know. I think the best way to start to work as a young person to build your own identity is to start associating with people that know your culture.
That's it.
Because culture and identity are the main things.
Yep.
They give you purpose in life.
They do.
Because if you don't have a purpose in life, then you don't know where you're going. When you don't know where you're going, and then you feel hopeless.
Yeah.
And then anything can happen to you. You can even get into drug and alcohol, and then lost your way out there. I would encourage young people to either try to connect, because also connection has a different ways. There's a bad connection and a good connection.
That's so true.
I would encourage a good connection, and the good connection is connect with your parent, connect with your sibling. When you start building that relationship, it doesn't matter what happened there. Even if your parents are not listening to you, or you feel they're not listening to you, just have a one time, call your both parent, or if is one parent, if it's a single parent, and then call that parent, sit down with them, and say, look, I am from this family, and I feel not supported, and I want you to listen to me now. Start mentioning everything, everything that you want to say. Say it to that parent. And even if you have a uncle here too, just call that uncle and talk to him. If you have a friend, also call him and talk to him. Then just internalizing it, because internalizing it will actually hurt you. And when it hurt you, it grow bigger and bigger, where your heart will be dark and your mind will be dark, and then you will not have a good choices in life. So the best way for young people is to start finding purpose in life. Purpose in life, either connecting positively to your peer, connecting positively to your parent and your sibling. Find that connection, because always there's thing that I always say it. I always say that if you don't connect positively, you will connect negatively.
That's true.
And also, if you don't connect with your parent, or you don't connect with your sibling, and then you will connect with someone else. It's like if you don't connect with if you don't connect with God, then you will connect with the devil.
Of course.
So this
black and white, yin and yang.
That's it.
There's no way out of that. So unless there's two things you need to choose, bad or good. And some of those, sometimes we blame parents, and sometimes we blame young people. Those things lies in between. But all we need to do is we need to find a purpose. We need to find identity. And finding that identity will give you a purpose in life. And that purpose will make your day bright, will make you to start, connecting positively, Start connecting with people that you see as a role model in the community. Even giving them a call and say, look, I want to start this and I don't know how to start it, or I want to connect positively but I can't do it. How can I do it? Someone will help you around there. There's a plenty of people that are there that are happy to help. And also the other thing that I also will I would love to advise parents is that try to listen to your children, whatever they say. Listen to them. Ask them question. If it is not clear to you, try to get that, because failure to get that will lead to another failure, another failure,
one after another,
and then it will lead bad.
True.
If you notice anything that is impacting, any behavior that is impacting on a young person that you see is not a regular one, find a helper. Sooner is better. Because if you find someone, if you say, look, I see this behavior in you, but I'm concerned. Say it in a good voice.
Yeah.
Yeah? Say, I see this. This is not you. I think something is going on with you.
Yeah.
And I would love to talk to our GP, to find you some help.
Yeah.
What do you think? Everybody is looking for help.
That's true.
But they don't know how to look for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if you offer that help as a parent, then definitely you will be able to, to direct this young person to a supportive, a supportive service.
Yeah.
And then, the young person will say, yes, why not? Then take them to your GP.
Yeah.
And then GP will assess and then support.
Yeah.
And then there will be support out there. And then this young person will definitely look after that. And I think this is a good way,
Yep.
Yeah. So mental health is
That's
there.
amazing.
Yeah. There's also different. Our community do not differentiate mental health from evil spirit. There's evil spirit and there is mental health.
Yeah.
These two things, people need to search about them.
Yeah. I know the difference.
Parents need to know. There's evil and there is mental health. Mental health is there, is a disease.
Yeah.
But evil spirit is something, is a spiritual kind of things. So they are totally different.
Yeah.
But sometimes our community will say, this may be evil spirit. And there's one thing that I also add from those who are out there, either parent or father. Sometimes you go to a young person's room. They've been there in like 2 or 3 days, staying in their room. They don't want to come out. Sometimes you feel like, there's things going on with this. You just rock in the room and then start yelling out, praying for them. So don't do that.
Without accessing what's the problem.
Praying for
It could be medical problems.
Yeah, it could be a medical problem.
Yeah.
And then you start, yelling out, praying to God about this young person. Hearing that, you said, my father actually think I'm a devil.
Yeah.
That hurt them a lot.
Yeah.
That hurt them a lot.
It kills them.
Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
If you want to pray for them, God still will hear you if you pray in your room, even quietly, about him.
That's what it says in the Bible.
God will hear you. Just don't just come to rock in the room and then start yelling out and praying. So don't do that. Pray quietly about your children, about your husband, about your your wife.
Yeah.
Do it privately.
Yeah.
Don't go into the room and pray for, because if you do that, then they will think something different.
Else,
Yeah.
And then that will give them, they will start distancing
Further
themselves
further.
from you.
Yeah. That
They
is
wouldn't want to
so
tell
true.
you
Then
anything that's
they
going on.
won't tell you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of young people, they don't talk. They either do action. Within that action, if you fail to notice that what message they are giving you, then you're done.
Yeah.
You will not know.
Catch it again.
Yeah, you will not catch it again.
It's a
So we
different
need to-
type of
yeah.
generation. For real.
We need to be
Yeah.
sensitive and also aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tone of voice as
Yes.
well.
The other thing also, we like emotional support. This is what I know from South Sudanese parent.
Yep.
The emotional support is very important
It
because this generation is emotional.
Yeah.
That's how you can define it. Is emotional. Yeah.
That's true.
Because when they are emotional, they need emotional support.
Yeah.
So we fail to give emotional support. In this way, like young people when they go to school in the morning, children go to school in the morning, their mother will hug them and say, "I love you."
Yeah. Have a good
Have a
day.
Yeah, have a good day.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
So South Sudanese fail to do that. They don't do that.
Even when the child
Either
comes
their dad
back
or their
too
partner
They
or
need to
their-
from
Joke.
school.
Yeah, traditional young honey,
Which you
all
got
that.
wallet.
Yeah, all that.
Thank you.
You like it. You see?
Even thank you is hard enough.
Yeah,
hard to
even
get.
so-
And I feel like even with us, like growing up too, it was very hard to try and accomplish many things
That's
because
true.
no one was clapping for you. In
No
our
one.
community, no
not
one
in our
goes up
culture,
to you
yeah.
and says, "Hey, you've done a great job.
Congratulations.
Congratulations."
Even this
No?
word "thank you" also is not there.
I used to beg
Even the
my
word
mom
thank
to
you.
say
It's not
Thank
there in our
you.
language either.
Oh,
Even please, I feel like we really need to balance out the Aussie culture
Exactly.
Yeah.
because I'm telling you, the Australians, they got it together.
Yeah. What I mean, we don't need to be like Aussie.
No, no,
But
it's
we
a
need
balance.
we need to balance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a balance.
We need to be because there's things that are very good with us.
Yeah.
South Sudanese. We are collective. Our collectiveness is good.
We're amazing.
But sometimes people, tend to make it in a different way.
And they use it against us.
Use it against us. But collectiveness is good. There's few things we will explore in the future,
of course,
about our culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another important thing that also can stop that is bridging the gap, like how you're saying. So the young, if not only talk to their parents and all that kind of stuff, but actually take time out to kick it, like to relax together and to to be in each other's presence and all that kind of stuff. Enjoy each other's presence, from the young to the old, without putting it in manners where we say, oh, nah, I'm too old to be sitting down with this kid and be watching a TV, or I'm too young to be talking to these people, type of stuff like that. So we need to bridge all those gaps, and that will help us to get a lot of us make them comfortable to talk about whatever problems there is, because now they can interact with each other, so they become familiar.
Because in our culture, like, correct me if I'm wrong, way back, right, women had their own separate areas.
And it's, the thing, it still happens to this day. Whenever we go to church, that's something that needs to stop.
You weren't allowed to go sit with the uncles. You can only sit with the women. And if you're a man, you can't come. Like, it became really difficult, and you can see where the cycle is repeating itself, and why the young people are becoming scared, because to us it's a way. Apparently, it's a way of showing respect.
Also.
Okay, which is all right, but
it's all right. But sometimes you take it back that we don't learn, things. Sometimes if we see that things is creating distance, why not we leave it and we mingle together? There's nothing wrong with mingling together, because if we respect one another, that's important. That's the important thing. So staying together with someone, it does not mean you're not respecting other. So we can start, mingling around together, in
a respectful manner. It doesn't mean we're disrespecting each other, because that's how we're going to actually open those channels of understanding one another, of being there for one another emotionally, physically, spiritually, and intellectually as well. You wanted to say something?
Yes, I've been waiting here.
It's okay.
You jumped in.
Waiting. Okay, so I understand the part about wanting to help, youth, and also my condolences to all the families that are currently grieving, from their children experiencing either suicide or being murdered. But one of the things that I think is really important that we should talk about in our community is that everybody in our community needs help. As Jeffa was saying before, he mentioned transgenerational trauma. He mentioned racism. And he also mentioned how children actually need a safe space to actually talk about things and stuff like that. And they're very, very valid points. But I think one of the things that we didn't touch on during this conversation is how much women are actually suffering in our community, and they're not able to, provide for their kids the way that they can, because if we look at the history of when we came to Australia, women had to experience child marriage. So being married off at 13 years old, 16 years old, and that impacts them. So when we talk about, also children receiving love from their parents, it's really hard if your own parent hasn't experienced love before. I mean, they're traumatized. They're fleeing from war. They're fleeing from having a broken family. And when they do speak to children, they can't tell them to be like, hey, be grateful because you're in Australia. It's only because they feel like they've lived a very hard life. And I guess what would help the community in terms of mental health is also addressing drugs and alcohol. Why do people do it? Why does somebody become an alcoholic? I feel like there's people in our community that actually shun upon people who drink alcohol.
That's so true.
They think, oh, you look sloppy, you're just drinking for fun. But it's something that stems
not knowing what triggered that.
Not knowing what triggers that. And I feel like people don't talk to them in a respectful way, where it's like, hey, why are you drinking?
Yeah.
Like, you got so drunk, you know, to a point where you're like falling to the floor. Like,
Yeah,
it's
like what's going on?
Yeah,
I've
like,
never
what's
seen
going
you
on?
like this before,
We'd rather judge somebody for
Yeah.
being in that state rather than trying to see why they're doing that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
the reason behind it.
yeah, and even then that tradition also even got carried now to these youth, because these youth are, you know, they're running, I don't want to say they're running rampage, but a lot of the time they spend it in the street rather than in home, you know, and they'll be doing things like drugs and alcohol with their friends because they don't feel like they can open up at home or feel like they're safe at home. So it's better for them to hang out with their friends outside of home. But yeah, it's important that I think the best way to help them is by setting up services,
supports.
For instance, like for me, if I'm talking to a friend and I see that they're dealing, you know, mentally or emotionally, I like to tell them to go to their local GP, and to see a therapist. You know, they can offer 6 free sessions to Headspace or any, you know, counseling service. So it's
Blue.
it's like stuff like that. So I think all of those services need to be carried out into our community. We need to actually promote, you know, well-being, mental well-being. I understand wanting to talk about it, but people are not going to see it as a problem until we actually do something about it. You know, where we actually have that conversation about it, like all the things that are triggering us and bringing trauma on us, and, you know, how to deal with it, how to cope, because coping is the hard part, because when you're, you know, in the room, we've experienced it during this pandemic, where you're like on lockdown, you know, you have nothing to do. Imagine now, this is also what the mothers in our community are going through, because just to talk on a different topic, our mothers, they actually struggle to get employment, and they struggle to also, you know, I guess learn English properly or like run those errands by themselves. So sometimes they put that responsibility on the child,
kids, of course,
you know, and that can, you know, cause a lot of stress for the child, because you're like looking after yourself and then you're also looking after your mum, you know. And I've been in that situation where I've gone to like Centrelink, they don't even have interpretation services. Did you know that?
I did. I used to interpret for mum.
They don't have that, like for the job seeker one, you know. There should be these women, when they're going for job searching, there should be somebody to help them to kind of look for that job, you know, or to apply and to use a computer.
And you know
to do all those things.
You know who those people will be? One of us.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we need to start actually getting out there.
Yeah.
Okay. I've always said, if we had a lot of supports and services as South Sudanese, if we actually started building.
Look, let me just, you know, get in there. So, just simply, you know, in 2018, before I finished my social work degree with the VU, so I started to connect right now in Cardinia. So every Thursday and Friday, I sit there in the center, just waiting for anyone to come. To get support, because I offer myself to support
your
people.
Time too.
My time. So it gave me time also to study when there's nobody.
Yeah, it does.
But I was able to support some parent, you know, some people within my community. I cannot say names.
Of course, privacy.
But within that, so there has been a lot of people there coming to me. With helping with the resume. So most of them now, they have jobs.
Oh, wow.
So what we need is just a people, you know, like somebody like you, just saying, I'm here available. You know, if you want needed help with the resume, just come to me, I will help you. Because, for instance, you may know how to address selection criteria, write a, you know, a cover letter, and then address, you know, you have a good layout of your of resume. You know how to put it well. You know, showcasing the soft skill and the hard skill within the resume. You know,
your experiences as well.
So putting those together and giving them that letter, that paper is make a lot of difference.
It does.
So it just want us to be there, available. You know, someone come to us and then
Yeah.
Why not? Give 15
And
minutes.
to our viewers, if they actually if they want to know more information about that, surely, as always, we will definitely provide information towards the end of this episode, because Jeff, as you guys have heard, he's one of our community leaders, and he's actually doing a lot of things and actually finding ways and strategies to actually help the community. So we'll definitely leave some information regarding how you can get in contact with Jeffa. In regards to that, resume writing, it's very important. I feel like when it comes to resume, it's a way for people to showcase their experience and where they've been, within the different industries. So the only way to get the job that you like is it's all going to be on that paper. It's so important to actually have a good resume.
As you said, resume is about to take you to an interview. That's all. Mm-hmm. The resume won't. Yep. Yeah. So resume is to take you to the interview. Yeah. That's all.
Then the next
the rest is up to you. To showcase your skills.
Yeah.
During interview. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So getting a good paper need support from other people that can support. So as also with CSG. In 2019, people also drop into us, and then we help them with resume.
Oh wow!
Sometime because there were only 5 of us, so what we do also, we refer them to Chisholm TAFE, and then they get the resume done within a few few minutes.
What other things do you guys do as well apart from resume writing?
Yeah, CSG is one of the successful organization that we have here in Australia, I would say it.
Yeah.
Even within other CSG, South Sudanese CSG is the most, function one, and is very very successful in a lot of things. Yeah. So we help young people to get registered in their sporting activity. If you, for instance, if the parent cannot able to support them, and then we help them to
admin fees and
all that. Like admin fees and registration fees, even uniform fees.
Yeah.
So we pay that. Like also we help young people to have lessons, like driving lessons.
Yeah.
We help young people with that, and then also we help parents to pay for school. For a school uniform for young people. So we help families that cannot able to provide a school uniform fee. So we help that.
Of
Even
course.
books also. Yeah. We help them purchase, like textbook. Other things is we do referrals.
Oh, good.
Like for instance, if you're looking for a job, we can refer you to job networks.
Yeah.
So also, if we identify someone, because we do intake and assessment, when you are identified, then we refer you to either counseling support service or another family integrated services. Also, we help people to get BLA, to, like legal aid and things.
Yeah.
Also, we help with utility bill. For instance, if
a grant.
Anything that prevent a young person to
move
to have a good outcome with their family. Like for instance, if there is a financial difficulty within the family's financial hardship, well, we can refer them to financial counseling, services, and we help with a little bit amount of money toward bill. If they prove that they are a financial difficulty. So there's a lot of things that we do. We have also parenting support sessions that are being run by Nyohok and Jago.
Okay.
Also, there is a difficulty there, and that's why sometimes I blame our community, because if you have given something and you're not utilizing it, so what is the benefit? So there's these services is there, and even when sessions are rolled out, there will be only 5 or 6 people coming in, 7 people, 10 people. But where a lot of parents can get in there, they can learn things, different things. Even if you don't know how to do your resume, someone can refer you to someone that can help you with resume. Will able to. So some of services are not utilized, but they are very important. in supporting our community. So also youth support. In area of youth leadership, we need young people like you in your wage and others, young people out there to participate, to get involved, you know, because this is how you change. This is how you can take leadership later on, you know.
Yeah, in
I'm
life.
not gonna be there. I will leave, so other person can come to CSG later on.
Yeah,
and build on other young people.
Yeah.
That's it. So we need young people to come in and support, you know, and participate.
Yeah. All right. Anything that would like to add? And Jeff, I think you're a bit far from the mic.
I heard him though.
You can hear him?
I can hear him.
All right.
Sorry. Okay.
Unless you guys cannot. I keep forgetting you're not wearing this.
So we'll move ahead. Okay. So with the rest of the things that we're going to talk about, we've honestly covered a lot within the last couple of topics that we've actually disclosed. So one of the things that I'd like to really talk about is how we can support community leaders, such as Jaffa and any other community leaders out there, whether you're from different sub-tribes. Like, how is it that we can support you guys as young people for us to move forward in our community and try and start to move towards a better era to create a better future? So what is it that we can do to help you guys as community leaders?
That's a good question. Mind if I go first?
Yeah. That's good. That's a great question. So I don't know. Maybe somebody like Nyawech and C4 will talk in a young people perspective. What they can support me with. Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right. I would love young people to participate, because participation is a development itself.
Yeah.
Without participation, you cannot know what is going on in leadership.
That's so
So
true.
we need young people to participate. Young people to participate in youth leadership, because youth leadership will build you up.
That's true.
You know, there is a good opportunities that are out there now. So we have leadership. Like we have Victoria leadership. Victoria leadership every year they enroll young people into leadership. This is something our young people need to do. They need to participate in CSG. Even CMY also has a youth leadership.
Yep.
So our youth leadership also train young people to be leaders. You know, there's also others like in Cardinia. We have also in Cardinia Council there is there's a leadership also. So in those leadership, young people need to participate. Yeah. Because if you want to be a leader, you need to start connecting.
Yeah.
Because there's no leadership without mentor. So you need someone to mentor you.
Yeah.
So for instance, if we have some activity roll out there, like for the CSG roll out activities, you are a young person and you want to build your leadership skill, because leadership is just not just being leadership. So there's things that you need to involve. Like for instance, your speaking skills, your confident, you know, and developing resilience and the like. So these are something that you need to work your way forward, you know. Even being confident in front of people to talk. That also need a kind of training.
That's so true.
So exposing yourself to a lot of things will actually build your capacity. You know? The problem is just staying in your comfort zone. That is the problem.
And not moving anywhere.
So just come out, you know, meet me or meet any other leaders that is out there.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, a lot of young people, they criticize leaders, even without knowing them. That's the problem. Just there has to be a bad leader there. Let's say I'm a bad leader, but I'm still a leader. So if you know Jaffa is a bad leader, just come and know what is the bad part of me
for yourself.
Yeah. And then try to work out the good part of me. So and then you build your leadership skill there. So all we need to do is young people coming closer to us and work together with them.
That's it.
So that's what we need. Because and also young people talking to themselves, needing a leadership. Yeah. So just have a need of building your skills. That's it. And then leadership will come later on.
Yeah, in life.
So
That's it.
that's what I think that's what I need from young people.
You hit it on the nail.
Yeah. I'd like to hear your perspective, see.
Yeah, Jeff was right, you know. I think too, as a community, we need to show that we can be helped and that we're comfortable asking for help. Not just to be led, but also to be shown how to be where to go, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can take a donkey to the river but you can't force it to drink.
You cannot.
Yeah, you cannot. So we need to show that
that's a pretty good one.
Yeah. We need to show where we have problems, you know, and we need to also help those who are in leadership positions and have leadership skills. We need to help them grow the way they're doing their job, you know what I mean? And that's by aligning ourselves with whatever the agenda is for the people they're leading, you know? So I agree with what you say that we need a lot of participation and a lot of interaction between all the generations. Yeah. So that will help bridge the gap as well.
That's amazing.
Wow. For me, I think although people do want to participate, I think it's important to go out and get them also. So one of the things that we've done is when African Votes was on, we just went out to churches and we targeted mostly, you know, mothers, because at this time we were dealing with African gangs. So it's like, go get the mothers from the church and then plan the events, and then they'll invite more people. So I think that's one way community leaders can kind of, increase the number of people participating their events or the things that they have planned. That would be, I think, the only thing that, because I think it's mostly like if you have work, you're working for the people, and with leadership role, you know, it's about going out there and getting people to be active and to participate in things. So it's, as long as you have 2-3 people that, you know, are like, I'll attend there, ask them to bring 2 or 3 more people.
That's it.
You know,
that's it. It's
you bring your 2-3 people, you know.
Oh, wow.
I reckon we can go back to how we used to be, because you know, like when they used to do cultural events in halls and stuff, it would bring the whole family together.
That's it.
You know, people would be, you know, practicing cultural dances together, and that's when like there was a huge sense of belonging.
That's it.
And you know, like that comes back to the whole like mental health thing. The reason why a lot of people are dealing with mental health is because they don't feel a sense of belonging anywhere, not in Australian culture or South Sudanese culture. So exactly. It's important that we tackle the cultural aspect of things as well as the racial aspect of things. And, you know, but my advice to community leaders is just go out and get them.
Amazing, because honestly, the community leaders need to do their part as well and show these young people that, hey, we want you guys, we want your perspective, we want your thought pattern, and we want to hear what it is that is on your mind. Like in terms of young people supporting community leaders, for me, I believe in connections and networks. For example, C4 has a circle of great mates that he knows within the music platform, you know, because he's an artist. Jeffa as a community leader and Yawich as a youth advocate, pretty much, if we all tell our friends that, hey, there's this event going on, like going back to the Zoom meeting that we're all at before, the one that Jeffa did. I told my friends. I'm pretty sure everybody told their friends. And my goodness, the turnout was absolutely amazing. And that Zoom meeting was so important because we really need to start talking about racism and bullying. You know, we spent like a good hour and a half on that Zoom meeting. Oh, wow. And you see, it once again, it's connections and network, whether you're in your 50s, whether you're in your 30s, or you're even 10. Like, I'm telling you, if once you spread out the word, people start coming. So from this point moving forward, community leaders will actually build that trust and rapport with each and every one of us. And whenever there's an event going on, the best we can do as young people is actually tell our friends, our cousins, and we can all unite. And actually, I'm telling you guys right now, if we all unite as a collective, God damn, we will take over. Things will be amazing,
That's
you know.
true.
So let's start helping each other and start a better era, a beautiful era. 2022 is just around the corner. I can smell some fresh air
I
for
do
that
believe that, in terms of like, the role that community leaders play, I feel like, it will increase next year because now everybody's in isolation. It's a good time to
Everyone
get them,
took the time to actually think
like,
about things,
it's
We
like
paused. We all
took so many
paused.
things for granted.
Yeah.
And, there's always people that are working behind the scenes trying to get people involved in community events.
Yeah.
And hopefully now with just isolation and how we've been at home, and trying to find things to do.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can, go to the community events,
Yeah. Like speaking about that, COVID, like the amount of positive things that have come out of COVID, the pandemic, even though it's negative, right? There's nothing good about a virus because obviously it's killed a lot of people. But within the negative, just like black and white, without white, there can't be black.
Yep.
So there are positive things that have happened during COVID.
Yeah.
And as you said, 2 weeks ago, I feel like going back to lockdown.
Yeah. Me too,
so
I'm telling you.
because of the things that
I loved lockdown.
The lockdown taught you.
that unpacking themselves. Yep.
Yeah.
So I feel like going back to lockdown because I see, starting crime. Rate is
It's
start
going
getting
up again.
And, we're losing people. So I was upset.
Gonna come after us, but we have to fight back.
So also
we
we need to know as South Sudanese community that God help those who help themselves.
Yeah.
Because if we don't help ourselves, then God will not help us.
Yeah.
There's pretty much.
And that
This is foundations. Everybody should know.
Yeah.
So we need to start helping one another.
Yeah.
And to add on to what Lizzie said too, it connects with what you just said about helping one another.
Yeah.
About networking. As a community, all of us, we need to start showing interest in one another.
Yeah.
And what
Whether
one
it's
another does,
music,
you know
whether
what I
it's
mean?
Exactly.
anything.
Because at the end of the day, eventually we'll come to a point where we have something in common. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure.
Where I want to help you with something and you want to help me.
Yeah.
You want to help that person, they want to help you.
Yeah.
You know? So that way a lot of things can come to fruition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how we
can
gonna
help
change
one
things.
another and we can help each other even individually.
And everything's connected. Someone that you may look down on today, give it about 5 years, you have no idea where there could be.
And there could be the
Everything
difference
is
between your
connected.
success and you not succeeding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let me share this with you too. I never get interested to be a leader, to be honest. No. The first time I become a leader, I was 22 years old in a refugee camp. But it was the community that said Jaffa could go for leadership. Just a suggestion from elders. And I was running away. I ran twice. I ran away twice. And the third time, I couldn't run away because they called me up and nobody else they would look after. They say, Jaffa, you got to go for it. And I went for it in a refugee camp where we have about 15,000 refugees in a Dima camp. So I become a chairperson for NASA community, so for Gajuk, let's say NASA community.
Yeah.
And then after that, I become a chair. I become a vice chairman in refugee camp. In Dima. So I start my way there, being a leader there. So that exposure, so let's say that exposure gave me opportunity to start knowing the element of leadership.
Prepared you
Then
for
I start
another day.
prepare me for another leadership.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Australia, I moved, slowly to a leadership. So leadership is just something that you build up. Sometimes
It's never something you're ready
It's an
for.
honor bestowed
it's
on
not
you.
something that you're ready for it.
Yeah.
It will come.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will come. This is how you expose yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
True.
Sorry to cut you. In regards to that, we will switch it up a little bit and just, come up with examples about some of the positive things that we're doing in the community, and then we shall close this episode.
Nice.
So there's a lot of things, a lot of good things. Let's forget about the negativity for a minute.
Let's lighten up.
We got
Let young people
lawyers.
take it.
Let's
Start it.
lighten up.
We got lawyers, we got artists.
We got everything in our
We got a
community,
lot of good stuff going on.
Look, in 2016, I read an article that said South Sudanese are into education more than any refugees. When I read that, but the writer was writing it in a negative way. But I was so happy. I was so happy when I read that. So this is positive thing that is happening. We are taking education seriously, which is good. But that is only that's also for people who are older, like from, let's say, from 40s and above. But now we have also a negative kind of seeing, we're going down. Like, for instance, now young people are not taking education seriously.
But
girls are good. Olympics? I would say girls are good.
Did you guys watch the Olympics?
We're okay.
Peter Ball.
Pardon?
Yeah, Peter Ball.
Yeah.
He bet like an Australian record.
It's
like
we have sport. We have people in
it was
sport.
amazing.
Yeah, we have people in sport. We have doctors. We have PhDs. We have social workers.
We have Nyadol Nyon as well as a lawyer.
As a lawyers. Yeah, and those of that wage, that wage.
Daki thought as well.
We're coming in.
Yeah.
Those are there. So we also have doctors like Dr. Bull, Dr. Ledjor. Other Dr. Garang, all of that.
Yeah.
So we have people out there. We have a lot of professional now. In professional space.
We do. What about the AFL players as well?
Yeah.
And the musicians.
Those are coming up.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Yeah.
So musicians, somebody like
one
me.
of the things
we all coming up.
One of the things I've always thought about is us taking our education back home. So, in terms of, we're very qualified people. Yeah. We work pretty sophisticated jobs. But, maybe forming some kind of organization to even, do charity back home, starting off slowly and, actually going to work for ourselves in our country. Yeah. I feel like that should be in our future plans because, we did talk about that a little bit before about, putting in those seeds and stuff for the children. So, we're still successful people. It doesn't change our success, but we just need to do more about it and make it a bigger thing, so that we can actually get the recognition that we deserve. Because in this country, we're still dealing with racism. Somebody in the media will do something good, something bad, and then all of a sudden,
paint all of
no
us
credibility
the
all of
for
us.
us at all. Like we're all bad people. So. Yeah, it's just being around people that are the same, you see you're surrounded by your people. Yeah,
like-minded.
And we kind of control the system ourselves. So, I think there's even like a lot of businesses that are going to be successful and going to succeed and stuff like that.
We have people in businesses now. So which is,
I have one important question to ask, actually. For all of us, like, what are the most common cases that we all see within our field of work? For example, like in social work, counseling, employment, like what are the common cases that people come to us to ask common questions? So mental health was one of them, drug and alcohol. What other things? Like the last episode, we also spoke about dysfunctional families.
Like domestic violence.
Domestic violence, like
depression is a huge one. Depression and anxiety, I think. Yeah. Those are the two factors.
PTSD as well.
Post-traumatic stress disorder. So.
They all started with, I think financial hardship.
Yeah.
And then, spring over to others.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Gotta have money to be happy.
Yeah, honestly. One other thing, though, that we need to keep in mind as a community as well is to acknowledge that there is a problem. So whenever there's something bad going on, like everything we spoke about tonight, it's time to start acknowledging so that we may be able to move forward freely. Yep. We have a big problem where we don't acknowledge things. We just swim it through and think that we're doing okay.
And I encounter that in the disability industry. Yeah. Because I'm a director for Barrow Disability Services. That's a disability company. So it's hard to get our people to not to admit, but to want to get help whenever they have a certain disability. Just because they'll be
The shy,
or the whole community members who call them disabled.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's not really about that. It's about the help that they can get, you know.
Yep.
Like little things like, you know, mothers they don't have to go to the shops. Somebody can go to the shop for them. Somebody can go do the shopping. Somebody can come wash the utensils, you know, clean the house for them. Little things like that they can get a lot of help that can make their lives easier. They shun it away just because of what people would think about them. You know what I mean? That needs to change in our community, especially, you know, because there's a lot of benefits out there for people to get, but we don't want to claim them just because of taboo and talk.
You know what's sad? Like, speaking of that, like, I guess our community really needs to start educating themselves around the different types of diagnosis. I used to work for the National Disability Insurance Scheme for a good 2.5 years, and I wanted to tell our community what the National Disability Insurance Scheme was about. I spoke to one auntie, due to privacy reasons, I won't provide any name. And I told her, hey, since the child has autism spectrum disorder, that's something that I could help you through NDIS. I do the paperwork, and we can get you a support coordinator that could actually assist you with this child. She never went ahead with it.
And
she didn't even seek for the help that would have was needed, because there are things in place that could help that child
make their lives much easier,
a whole lot different. So we need to stop if you do have a disability, just consider yourself as someone that, you know, that is very special.
Reap the benefits of it. You know?
Honestly,
there's things that can make your life so much easier.
Yeah,
and that are in place there. There's a lot of funding for them as well.
A lot of funding. So let's not shy away from anything, and start being really honest. And apart from that, I think
that's for most services. I think there's a lot of support that's available for whatever it is you're struggling with, whether it's mental health, domestic violence. They're all online. Like the GP thing that I suggested before, seeing a therapist if you feel like you can't cope, because when things bottle up, that's when, you know,
things go wrong.
So it's important that as quick as you can, deal with your mental health as soon as you can. If you feel yourself like you're what is it called, distancing yourself from your friends and family, or even your thoughts are isolated or whatever, so it's important that just get the help you need.
And I will get Jeffa to provide us with information regarding the organization that he works for, or how people can contact him. We'll definitely put your details as well on the video, and then I'll close it off. So if you could just tell them how to get in contact with you, that would be really lovely.
Yes, very, very easy. We have 2 offices at the moment. So we have Dandenong CSG is very close to Dandenong Library. We are close there. So we are on 199 Losdale Street.
Okay.
So near A1 Bakery. So if anyone want to drop in after maybe after the service is opened, and then we'll be able to support you there. Whatever conditions you're coming in, whatever circumstances, talk to us, and then we'll be able to support you. If it's a support that is available within CSG, we will do it. If not, then we will refer you to services that will support you. So the other office is in Cardinia. So we're based in my place. My place is number 5 to 8 Main Street. It's very close to McGregor Road and Francis Highway.
Okay.
I think it's just like 3 to 4 minute walk from train station. You know, walking through the main street. So you will find me there and Rachel's Beer. And then in Dandenong you will find Lualdeng, Kenyatta, and the rest of our team.
Amazing.
Including Tempest, Isara, Poch, and Tori.
And that's 199 Lonsdale Street.
Lonsdale Street. Okay. Also, Nyohog is there and Jago. They are there.
Wow.
So
that's a solid team.
Yes. Yeah, we grow. In 2018, when we started, we were 5 people. Based on the effort that we put through, so we were able to get other people employed. Now we have we have a good number of of young people that are working in the youth team. And then we also have a team of parenting groups, there is support group,
Beautiful.
including Nyohog and Jago. They are doing amazing work. So in Cardinia, we are now going to recruit another 2 volunteers that will support us there. And also moving to Living Learning. You know, you get Connect right now is there in Living Learning.
Yeah.
It's one of the youth support organization. It's a cultural organization actually. Next year they will start doing cultural dance. You know? Yeah,
I'll definitely be joining.
Yeah,
That's for sure. We'll go,
yeah, they will start doing cultural dance, and hopefully, you know, things get back together, and everything will be good.
Oh.
So my advice would be, you know, let's help one another.
Yeah, let's help one another.
Because
that's for sure.
God will not help us if we don't help one another.
Yeah.
Don't shy of asking someone a questions. Yeah, just drop, you know, to the center, both center, and ask for help.
Have a chat, you know, go.
That's it. Have a chat.
Take a coffee down, sit down.
Yep.
And in regards to that, thank you so much for actually providing that information, because I feel like it's going to help a lot of people.
Yep.
C4, in regards to the disability service organization that you work for, if people want to get involved, we'll definitely put your name on the video so that they know how to get in contact with you if they have family or relatives that are dealing with some type of disability. So what was the name of it again?
Baro NDIS.
Beautiful.
BARO-NDIS.
Oh yeah, we did speak about we spoke about this too.
That's the website.
I just remembered now.
And also, you guys provide a cultural training, Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff. There's also family daycare on the way.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
that should be done before the end of the year.
Oh, beauty.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
No wonder why you've been quiet. You're getting up to some good stuff. I see.
and music also on the side.
Music before the end of the year, new album out. So a lot of things are coming. I'm also working on a few scripts for some short movies. So
nice.
We're working together. Yeah.
I think we need to do a newer song. That's for sure.
Hey, it's the floor is open for it. Definitely.
Beautiful. And Wechi,
I just want to tell people to register to vote.
That's it.
Vote for Jaffa.
Register to vote.
The elections are coming up. If you want Scott Morrison to leave, register to vote.
And trust me, the fine for not voting is not nice. So do it.
Yeah, I've heard this a few times.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson.
I have to.
Look, I think before we encourage people to vote, I think there's something we need to do first, is to get them to get their citizenship. So let's encourage people to get their citizenship. Because without citizenship, you are not able to vote.
You can't.
And that is a very challenge for South Sudanese families.
Yeah.
So a lot of people
get your citizenship.
Have no citizenship.
Then you will be able to vote.
And while you do that too, invest in back home. You know, invest in back home. Even if you send just $100 a week or a fortnight, whatever, just to build something that you can, you can expand whenever you go. I'm planning to go overseas very soon, go back home. So I try to invest, because those things are not only going to help us here, they'll help the people back home.
Back at home. Yeah. That's a really good point.
Yeah. So one major thing that I might do before, hopefully, when it's ready, it's get a container. Get a few clothes, like the clothes that people give to Salvation Army and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's so much. Everybody has so much, so many clothes at their home. So we put those all together, put them in a container, and ship them back home.
Oh, beauty!
And then we just help people. They don't have to pay for it.
You know what?
We just
that's a great idea.
Like
Let us know. We'll help you with that.
What you're doing is good. I actually want to find a way to do that, but I don't know.
Let's talk.
I think that's a great idea.
Talking again.
I guess we'll see each other again. But apart from that, guys, I would like to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you guys for actually taking the time to come into the studio and to help me to discuss these topics and discussions. So I'm sure it won't be the last time for us to have this conversation again. I'd love to have you guys back, even if it's individually, because a group it gets a bit heated, doesn't it, when there's a lot of us. But I will definitely get the chance to invite you guys again individually. I just want to say thank you so much for actually putting a lot of thought into this. It is so important. And Jeffa, I encourage you to continue doing exactly what you're doing, mate, because people think they're not watching sometimes, but they are watching.
You know, the good thing about Jeffa, he understands that his position, he's a servant of the people. So he's serving the people. Most other people,
they don't even get it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and they think that they own the people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. So, and that's a problem, isn't it? So please, I encourage you to continue doing it. You got all our support, okay?
Yeah.
Like I said, one hand doesn't clap, so we'll start clapping together, all of us. And Wechi, I'd love to say a massive thank you to you, because I've been trying to get you to come to the studio for months.
You're here now.
Like the presence here is amazing. So thank you a million times. And thank you to our viewers for taking the time to tune in on episode 10 of The Voices of South Sudanese Women. Until next time, you guys stay blessed and always continue to stay positive. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.
Thank you.